In the heart of the city's most prestigious district, a sprawling mansion sat atop a hill, a beacon of wealth and success. The building was a reflection of Nicole's hard work, her tireless dedication, and the empire she had spent years building. From the vast windows of her penthouse, she admired the view, a quiet satisfaction in her eyes as she surveyed the life she had carved for herself. The lights of the city below twinkled, but the most brilliant light in Nicole's world was her towering ambition, which had driven her to the pinnacle of success. Standing beside her, her husband Daniel, always impeccably dressed and equally impressive in his own right, seemed to share in her pride. Yet, there was a subtle flicker of unease behind his eyes, a quiet restlessness that Nicole failed to notice. She was too focused on the wealth she had built, the power she had amassed, and the vision she had for the future. Is this what they call paradise on earth? Daniel's voice broke through her thoughts, his tone smooth, but carrying an undertone of something she couldn't quite place. Nicole smiled, her hand finding his. Yes, Daniel, this is everything I ever dreamed of, and it's just the beginning for us. Nicole had worked relentlessly, sacrificing friendships, relationships, and time with her loved ones to reach this point. Her company was a powerful force in the industry, and she was respected, even feared, by her peers. The work was her life, and it was all she ever wanted. Daniel, on the other hand, had always seemed content to live in her shadow, enjoying the perks of her success without showing the same hunger for achievement. After a long day, Nicole suggested they go out for dinner. Tonight, let's have a break, she said, her voice light. I've made a reservation at that restaurant you love. You deserve it. Daniel agreed, his smile faint, but there was a coldness to it that Nicole missed. As she adjusted her earrings in the mirror, Daniel's eyes quickly darkened, his face hardening for just a moment. But Nicole was too caught up in her plans to notice, too absorbed in her empire to see the cracks forming in their marriage. Later that evening, as Nicole took an urgent call, Daniel sat in the dining room, his irritation simmering beneath his calm exterior. He pulled out his phone and typed a quick message. It's clear. Meet me now. With a final sip of wine, he stood and left, his mind racing with thoughts that Nicole had no way of understanding. She was busy as always. He knew she would never suspect what he was about to do. The plan had been in motion for months. Daniel's smile as he stepped out into the cool night was not one of happiness, but of cold determination. He drove quickly to a dark, quiet parking lot where his accomplice, Lucas, was waiting. Lucas, a younger, ambitious associate of Nicole's, had always looked up to her, but the allure of her wealth and power had led him down a dangerous path. Everything set? Daniel asked, his voice low and urgent. Lucas nodded. It's all in place. The car's ready for tomorrow morning. She'll never know what hit her. Daniel's lips curled into a small, sinister smile. Once she's gone, everything she built will be ours. All of it, unbeknownst to them. A young woman named Emma was huddled in the corner of the lot, seeking shelter from the biting wind. She had no home, no family, no one to care for her, but she had a sharp eye and a keen sense of danger. She had seen Daniel and Lucas arrive, and curiosity had led her to eavesdrop on their conversation. She didn't know who they were talking about, but she caught enough to realize that a life was in danger, a life she couldn't ignore. The next morning, as Nicole prepared to leave for a business meeting, Emma, heart-pounding, made her way to the gates of the mansion. She had spent the night pacing and rehearsing what she would say, unsure how to approach someone so far removed from her world. But when she saw Nicole's sleek car pull out of the driveway, Emma's resolve solidified. She sprinted toward the car, waving her arms frantically. Nicole slammed on the brakes, irritation flashing in her eyes as she rolled down the window. "What are you doing here?" she demanded, her voice sharp and defensive. "I need to talk to you," Emma gasped, her voice trembling. "It's about your safety." Nicole, skeptical and a little annoyed, narrowed her eyes. "You got 1 minute. Make it count." Emma took a deep breath. "I overheard a conversation last night. Your husband and someone named Lucas, they've tampered with your car. They want it to look like an accident so they can take everything from you." Nicole's face went pale, and disbelief filled her eyes. "That's insane. My husband would never." "Please," Emma interrupted, her voice breaking with desperation. I know it sounds crazy, but I swear I heard them. Just check the brakes before you leave. If I'm wrong, fine, but if I'm right, you'll be in danger. For a moment, Nicole hesitated. The truth was hard to swallow, but something in Emma's frantic gaze made her pause. Against her better judgment, she called her mechanic and asked him to inspect the car. Minutes later, Nicole's worst fear was confirmed. The brakes had been tampered with. A cold shiver ran down her spine as she processed the betrayal. The man she had trusted most, the one she had built a life with, was planning her death. The very thought made her heart race with a mixture of anger, fear, and disbelief. Get in the car, Nicole ordered, her voice steely. We need to talk. Emma hesitated but climbed into the passenger seat as Nicole drove them to a secluded location. The quiet was thick between them, but Emma recounted everything she had overheard in the parking lot. The plan, the betrayal. The men who had once seemed like pillars in Nicole's life now revealed as mere vultures, ready to claim her empire. Nicole's mind raced, but alongside the overwhelming sense of betrayal, a deep resolve began to form. You've done something incredibly brave, she said, her voice soft but filled with conviction. Now, I need your help. They quickly devised a plan. Nicole contacted her lawyer and revised her will, ensuring that Daniel would receive nothing in the event of her death under suspicious circumstances. She also set the wheels in motion for a staged accident. It had to appear as though Daniel's plan had succeeded, but she would be far from dead. The next morning, the news of Nicole's tragic accident spread like wildfire. Daniel played his part well, adopting the role of the grieving husband with ease, as did Lucas, who stood in the background, smug and confident. Meanwhile, Emma and Nicole worked quietly behind the scenes, gathering evidence and monitoring Daniel and Lucas's every move. Their actions grew bolder, more confident, and it wasn't long before they began to discuss how they would take over Nicole's business once she was out of the picture. When the will was read, Daniel and Lucas expected to walk away with everything. But they were met with shock and disbelief when the lawyer revealed the clause that would prevent them from inheriting anything. Before they could react, Nicole stepped into the room, alive and well, her gaze icy and filled with unspoken fury. Surprised to see me? Nicole asked calmly, her voice steady but her eyes burning with a quiet fury. Daniel stammered, searching for words, while Lucas stood frozen, his face drained of color. Nicole laid out everything she knew, her words cutting through their weak denials with surgical precision. By the time the police arrived to arrest them, both men were resigned to their fate. As the dust settled, Nicole turned to Emma. You saved my life, she said, her voice softer now, filled with genuine gratitude. I won't forget what you've done. Nicole offered Emma a place in her home, a chance to rebuild her life. The two women formed a bond, one rooted in trust and mutual respect. Nicole taught Emma the skills she needed to navigate a world that had once seemed so far beyond her reach. And Emma reminded Nicole of the importance of loyalty and courage, two qualities that she had almost forgotten in her relentless pursuit of success. Together, they embarked on a new chapter in their lives, their bond forever changed by the events that had brought them together. For Nicole, it was a chance to rebuild not just her empire, but her faith in the goodness of others. And for Emma, it was an opportunity to find a home, a future, and a family she had never thought possible. In the end, both women learned that no amount of wealth or success could ever replace the value of loyalty, trust, and the courage to stand up for what is right.